Well, I'm getting ready to take the last ride on the Kawasaki. I'm taking it up to trade it in on another motorcycle.
At 72 years old, I figure that I've got a few more good years of riding motorcycles, and there's quite a few motorcycles I want to try. So I'm just going down the list here on my next one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this Kawasaki. The only thing is it provided the best bike that I could trade to get the next bike I wanted to try. So it's just the next bike up, as it were.
I'm going to talk a little bit more later about the bike I chose to trade this one in on. It's as I speak, it's only going to have like 3,289 miles on it. So it's not got a lot of miles at all on it. And I gave it a good send-off on the last ride. It's my mother-in-law making faces at me. My mother-in-law was, last time she was here, well, one of the last time she was here, not the last time, she went with me to get this Kawasaki also. So about every other trip here, she's going to have to go with me to get a new motorcycle. Almost here. Okay, we're here. Well, can you tell what it is? Oh, you can clearly see it's a Triumph. You can clearly see it's a Bonneville. It's a T120. Triumph comes out with a different editions every year, and this one is this year's the Icon editions. It has a little bit different script on the front. I think it goes back to 1907. It does have a cruise control right here. It's just a on and off cruise. Those are not familiar with the T120. Well, no, it's geared very high so it turns a low RPM. For instance, the Thruxton R comes with a stock gearing of 16 in the front, 42 in the back. Okay. Well, this one has a 17 in the front, which is higher, and it has a 37 in the back, which is much higher. So right now I'm running a different gearing on my Thruxton. I'm running a 1740, which is high, but it's not as high as this. So a lot of people with these will change the gearing just a little bit to get it that, but I can do that. I've got the sprockets. I can change it to whatever I want it to. I could gear it up even a little higher. I could put I-18 on the front. But I think I'm going to leave everything like it is. Stopped over at Mr. Bill's to show him the bike. He was kind of surprised. We'll get out, get a ride. I suppose within 10 minutes I was over there, he had 10 different suggestions of the changes I could make on this bike. So, and one for the helmet. But I think I'm going to leave stuff kind of like it is. I may add some panniers or something like that. I've got a little tail bag on here right now. That's not something I'm going to use, I don't think. I've got some tank bags. I could smallish tank bags I could use, but I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. You hear the fan kicking on in this traffic. One of the suggestions Mr. Bills have was to decat it, and I've only decatted one motorcycle that I've had, and that's the Thruxton, and that was for racing purposes. You know, I'm not going to race this bike, so I don't know that I'll decat it. I think that generally speaking, unless they move the cat on this bike, it's located right underneath the engine, which tends to get the bike a little warmer, the air coming off of it a little warmer. But I think I'm going to let it, you know, about the best thing you can do on any of the bikes is let them set for a little bit. You know, adding a heated hand grips, that's doesn't change anything on the bike itself. I do like the dials. It seems like Triumph's dropping a lot of the dual instruments. Done that for the Speed 1200 and things like that. And I really didn't know if they were going to drop that on this T120 one of these days. Really do like the twin cylinder engines from Triumph. They are, you know, they're really, really good, really flexible engines. From what I can see, very reliable. You know, you change oil filters and oil in it, they go for quite a while. So nothing bad about the Kawasaki whatsoever. I did like it. It just needed to make room so I could try something else. And another year and a half or so, then one of the others may have to go so I can try something else. My first choice was that R12S. I really wanted one of those pretty bad, you know. But between the BMW not bringing any in to the United States enough to meet the demand, and the generally poor sales experience I had, our dealer being probably the best of the bunch, the 7 or 8 that we talked to, I just went down my list. You know, everybody has probably 2 or 3 bikes on their list. This is the next bike on my list, and the boys at the Triumph shop, you know, they're really, really good. I think that's one of the things that's probably undervalued more for riders. And I think new riders are especially bad at this. You don't value the dealership experience, good service, people that treat you right. You know, all the bikes and stuff are pretty expensive now, especially when you start adding the freight and the setup and all that. It's almost gotten totally unreasonable, you know. But you figure that you're going to pay a pretty high price on most of the bikes. You know, you get a little bit of deal here, a little bit of deal there, but you really need to pay attention to the kind of service you get, because you know, you buy the bike, you pay the price once, but over the 2 or 3 or 4 years, 5 years that you own the bike, you're dealing with a dealership. If the dealership is crappy, this makes your whole experience of owning the bike terrible. And I'm very fortunate that the Triumph dealer here in Boise are very good people to deal with. This is my 4th bike I bought through them, and I see no reason I wouldn't buy a 5th bike through them. So you know, I've tried other places, you know, with the Kawasaki and the BMW and Royal Enfield and, you know, Moto Guzzi's and stuff like that, but my Triumph dealership is probably one of the best I know it's the best dealership in town, and it's very good for service. So, you know, like I said, all of them are a little high in price. You know, sorry about that, but if you're going to pay a high price, you'd rather get good service, wouldn't you? And if you got a problem, do you want to go to a dealer that don't even remember your name a day after you bought the bike? And that's the way some of these dealers are. They can't even remember they sold you a bike, you know, within a day or two. And you don't have that problem with the Triumph Indian Boise shop. They sell Indians also. And to me, that's part of the. To me, that's a big thing. You know, when you come between the which bike you're going to buy and which one you're going. If both of them are come out kind of even, you know, then you go with the one's going to give you the best service. And you really want somebody to, if you have a problem, not to immediately point the finger back at you. In this dealership, I haven't seen them ever do that to anybody. That's my lecture. We'll, since Mr. Bill gets feeling good, we'll probably go out and ride together and let him ride the bike. He got to set on it today. I think he was he was genuinely surprised. I hadn't said anything about this bike to anybody. I was so focused on the R12S for so long. Well, this is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer saying goodbye today.
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.